G'day, intrepid viewers. So good to be back. Now, Ivana Trump. I mean, seriously, the night before her whole family has to testify. What a freak thing to happen. I'll be looking at that. But in the meantime, there's a lot going on. Brad Pascal, who was the campaign manager back in the day, 2015, 16, he said he wished he'd never helped Trump win. So at least someone's a bit sane in the camp. He also has a tweet showing that Trump was asking for a civil war. So these things are adding up behind the scenes, for culpability for the Yeti. Now, I was speaking of those who aren't. Mark Meadows. He's been dumped fully in it. Is he going to have to take the fall for the Yeti? Bad. He was part of the original Obama birther stuff and all that. He looks like a normal person. You look at Mark Meadows, he doesn't have an evil face or anything. He looks like a normal person. And he's such a force for destruction. So I'm going to have a look at Mark Meadows here. Mark Meadows. Look at these people. American Grove. I wonder. I think it's dawning on Mark Meadows right now. Trump doesn't surround himself with the best and the brightest. He surrounds himself with yes men and yes women, right? And so it's just like the lawyers. They've gone from the best to the middle, and now he's just got ambulance chasers, right? That's all he's got left. So it's the same with Mark Meadows. He's beginning to realize this isn't going to go away. This is his conflict in himself. Do I keep protecting this guy and really get done? Because we've got to the point with these hearings. It's who hasn't appeared yet becomes the juicy bit. Why hasn't he been subpoenaed? And that's because I think they've got plenty on him, and he's beginning to realize this. So his conflict is what he did to sabotage America. He's beginning to make a plan. This is waiting for your ship to come in. I think he believed until last night virtually that he would get a pardon. He's been waiting for the pardon to be given by the Yeti. He could even be still waiting. He really doesn't get it. Now, I'm going to do a few extra cards on Mark Meadows. What's he going to do? What's he going to do now? He is fully in the hot seat. Mark Meadows. Oops. Just bad shuffling. Mark Meadows. Look, it's a script. He's got the Gran Signore, that'd be the Yeti. He's got the consolation of this is the dream of the pardon. And he's about to realize, I really think I woke up thinking about Mark Meadows this morning. I know I need to get out more. I know. I'm going off sambering tonight. That should do it. But realizing this guy, the Gran Signore, is his enemy, right? So he's just being woken up from this sleep. More and more people must be in his ear going, now Cipollone, who should be Cipollone, has given his evidence. That's tipped the scales in this whole conversation. And Mark Meadows is in dire straits, if you ask me. Now, speaking of those who have broken bad, there's no one worse, I think, in my humble opinion, than Mike Flynn. 3-star general, whatever he is. Some military types are saying maybe he did too much time in Afghanistan or something. It's all an excuse. That there is no an excuse for what he's done. Right from leading the lock her up Hillary chants, he's gone all in for this. And I like to keep an eye on him. What is happening? The military, are they going to do anything for Mike Flynn? Are they going to do anything about this man? Mike Flynn. Is he going to skate through this? What is going to happen with Mike Flynn? I don't like this card. Okay, we start with the death card right in the middle. I mean, you'd have to think surely there's enough evidence. He should be the #1 person charged with seditious conspiracy. I really think so. Anyway, swords in his heart. Ooh, well, yeah. Now, see, the priest is begging death to spare the king. But have a look down here. Death doesn't spare the king. So this is what's breaking his heart. I think a lot of these guys were thinking, pardon. Now, in the past, this is presumably when he was one of the good guys on his horse, the Knight of Wands, in the past. Then he made an evaluation, and this was right back before Trump. He was playing dirty, right? Remember, he was actually done for agreeing and being paid to extradite some guy from the US to Turkey, meaning a black ops operation, and he did it for the money, right? But this is the card I'm not happy about. This is the Page of Wands, the convincing speaker. What is it doing here? Let's have a clarifier or two, shall we? On Mark Flynn, on the Page of Wands, what is the Page of Wands about? What's the Page of Wands about? What's the Page of Wands about? Yeah, this is turning up to be my pardons are us card. Here's you know who, Yeti Central. And the pardon, he might be one of those who has a pocket pardon that we'd never heard of before this all started to unfold. I think he's been assured he has a pardon. Look, I'd love to be wrong, but I think he's going to get away with it. But if Trump is found guilty of anything, do the pardons still hold? You know, I might ask that tomorrow night on Hogarth's channel. Saturday night, I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Hogarth Astrology. Okay, I'll be on there with Diane and Lady G. Okay, now Bannon's trial on Monday. I think we'll just let the forces act out on that. I couldn't be happier. He's run out of excuses. What I'd like to see is, because he was in jail before he got let out, back in jail, but he will only try and radicalize young men in jail. So he should be kept in isolation in an ideal world. That's just me. Oh, now, in other good news, Twitter is suing Elon Musk for $44 billion for, causing all this havoc with the company. So I'll keep an eye on that next time. Now, the big news. There is a challenger to DeSantis, a sleeper. His name is Charlie Crist. And I think he was a Republican back in the Reagan era. And then he had a late in life conversion, excuse me, and he's now running as a Dem or possibly an independent. But he's gaining on DeSantis in the polls. Although you never know with these polls, I think they still do them on landlines. And let's have a look. Charlie Crist, sorry. Charlie Crist and DeSantis. I'll do Crist on the left, DeSantis on the right, and we'll see what turns up. Charlie Crist versus DeSantis. Well, not much separating them, you'd have to say. Crist gets the 9 of Wands. He's in this battle. This is resting between battles. He knows DeSantis very well. He knows he has to keep coming at him. He's presenting a very sane, no-nonsense, middle-of-the-road discourse. He's taking the line that DeSantis wants across the board, abortion, no exceptions to rape or incest or anything. So he's taking that middle-of-the-road approach. He's got the chariot, which I like. Momentum, momentum. Meanwhile, let's go over to the Prince of Darkness. Dark money, right? Huge money, because, of course, the GOP machine, not the individual nutcases, but the machine has already moved on from the Yeti and they're backing DeSantis. So, but something does him in. I've been saying this for a while. There's going to be a scandal, and the most delicious thing would be that it's a Trump leaked scandal, does it mean, that could involve legal ructions. So I think DeSantis, they're neck and neck. I think, what's his name? Crist is sort of progressing and DeSantis is going along, and then we'll have legal complications. Doesn't mean he won't win with all that money, but it's not going to be as easy as everyone thinks for DeSantis, I have to say. Now, I have to look at Biden's Middle East tour. There's many of us who aren't happy, of course, with the fist pumping with MBS, but it is an international stage. That thing of keeping your enemies close, you know. Let's see what Biden has accomplished with the Saudis. So I'm going to look at it as Biden's relationship with the Saudis now. What's the relationship about? Oops. What fell out? Defending, but who's defending? I'll come back to that. Biden and the Saudis. Oh, I just heard clear as day, oil. He's defending the ability to be able to get oil because of Russia. Yeah, I think Putin's going to pull a big stunt with the oil very soon. I keep getting that vibe. Okay, so back to, oh, there he is, Biden, bless. The sun, look, I hope this isn't just talking about arms trading or something base. This is at a higher level trying to secure oil for the US. So there he is, the sun shining, and he got an agreement of some sort. Not that I know you could entirely trust both parties, let's put it that way, but these are good cards for his recent Middle Eastern excursion, I have to say. My personal feelings aside, he's done what he set out to do. I've never understood the US, romantic relationship with Saudi. I know oil's one thing, but 15 Saudis, the World Trade Tower, what was their reaction? Let's go bomb Afghanistan, which then destabilized the Middle East and got us to where we are today. Just shocking, absolutely shocking. Back in the day of Cheney, remember Liz's father, Halliburton, who can forget? Okay, but at the moment, she's doing her bit to save America, so I won't bitch about her. Let's see how she's going. How's Liz Cheney? She's a tough cookie. How's Liz Cheney going? And then we'll get to Ivana. Liz Cheney, how are you doing, doll? All right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. 4 cards, 4 swords. She is so the warrior in this. Right. There she is. She's prepared to skewer anybody in her way in her pursuit of truth and justice. Inside, this is a little bit of insight I think we're getting. Her heart, I think, is actually breaking over how appalling it is with all these rogue actors. I think there's a deep part of her that she keeps buried that is absolutely devastated, by what has happened. However, she is not going to relent, and she is going after all of them. Whap, 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 whap. She knows. She knows she's got them on the ropes. This is a crossroads. So the crossroads represent, will the DOJ and all other relevant authorities have the courage of Liz Cheney? She knows she's at the crossroads, can't have done any more. What are they going to do from here? And I think that's what is deeply distressing to her. She doesn't have absolute faith in the institutions. So she's really, really hoping with sheer force of will to get this through. Well, go the new Liz is all I can say about that. So now we have Ivana, the mother of dragons, sadly passed away this week, just before the testimony. And thank you, all those people who have already written to me since whatever day it was that she passed, saying that reading, my last reading on them, it started with the hanged man, the hearings getting held up. I mean, how weird. And the Empress that looks like Ivana in the Russian deck. The party's over. Just saying. So thank you for noticing. Thank you for remembering. Okay, so how is the Yeti's form? His wife dies. He puts an obituary that probably someone else wrote for her with a link of how to send him money. It's grotesque. It is absolutely grotesque. Okay, so what am I actually asking? Ivana, blessings to all the dear departed. Now, I think the impact on the New York cases. Ivana's passing and the impact on the cases. I've moved to the Russian deck, not the Russian deck, the Toth deck, because they're kept exclusively for this family. So Ivana's passing, what's it going to do? All right, she was the glue. The high priestess, she was the glue. Now here we have money. Quelle surprise. Okay, with the 8. So money, the Princess of Discs. I think this is Ivanka. And Ivanka will sort out the inheritance. I think that might be the only real money a lot of them end up with. We'll see what happens, but there's money, and that's what's leading off this reading. But she's the one with the power that held them together, and now the family is in for a change. This is the card of change. Right, so the new dynamic. So let me ask, does that mean the obvious thing is Ivanka becomes the matriarch, but let's have a look more generally. I'll leave those cards aside and ask about the family dynamic now. After Ivana, 10 grandchildren. Unlike her husband, she probably knows their names. You know, I doubt he would. I seriously doubt the Yeti could name his 10 grandchildren. Okay. The intimate family dynamics, now that Ivana has passed. The intimate family dynamics. Let us have a look. All right, now, here we have some interesting cards. Let me break it down for you. So, with that 6 of Cups, childhood, we've got a few cups here, which is not surprising, the card of emotion. It's a time of overwhelming emotion. Your mother is your mother is your mother, regardless of the relationship. And so they're hugely, massively emotional. They seem to move through that phase of grief and the sun shines, but it's shining on what? On the exposure of Trump Tower, meaning they are still under the threat of what's going on. I love the tower in this deck. Isn't that amazing? Trump Tower. The next 2 cards, the 6 of Discs and the 6 of Cups. So the 6 of Discs is normally the card of compromise, and the 6 of Cups of children. So it's like, I think on one level, they're going, my feeling is the boys are not going to handle this marvelously. I think Ivanka is genuinely grieving, there's no doubt, but I think she's much more worked out about her relationship with her mother. And it's the boys who are not coping so well. I'm just getting a thing on the boys. They're not coping. But I will now ask, because I know otherwise you'll ask me, was it an accident, or i.e., was it natural causes? Now, I'm not a paramedic, but falls downstairs usually result in head injuries, neck injuries. And she had blunt force trauma to the chest. So without getting too conspiratorial, let's just have a look. I'm sure every reader will be reading on this. Okay. Was it an accident? Was it natural causes? Oh dear. Look, there's a kind interpretation to this and a not so kind one. The Yeti turns up in the main position. Now, the kind interpretation is she was just so stressed, and she would have been, right? 2 of her 3 children and the ex testifying in a situation that's looking grim. So he turns up. So she could have just had literally a heart attack from the stress. However, blunt force trauma. This is the paid mercenary. This is the pretending to be happy families card, usually my GOP evangelical card, but performing happy families. And the Chariot moving right along. Mercenary, pretend happiness, Chariot. What do you think? Let me know. Oh, now, like I said, I will be on Hogarth's channel your Saturday night, and on Sunday night, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Hogarth, I think, is 7 p.m. On Becca's channel, I think, Becca, House of Lenormand, with Jen Lynn and Johnny, and they're always hilarious on a Sunday night. So don't forget that, right? So I'll see you in one form or another really soon. Ciao.